person came to the Rebbe and he asked the Rebbe, the whole idea of a heart is Allah. So why did the Eibishter make my heart my left side? Why is the heart on the leaf? Why is the lev on the left side, not on the right side? So the Rebbe told him that your heart is made for the other person. My left is his right. My left is for the other person. Abbas Yisrael. Loch Yud Beis. Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. Siman Chai. Speaking about, we're continuing in the idea of Halachas Av, Shmoyne Esrei. After Shmoyne Esrei, Oimri Melikaina Tzoy. After already the bracha is of Shmoyne Esrei, there's a paragraph, Elikaina Tzoy, we say. Before we say before we make the 3 steps back, there's this idea of going back, the 3 steps of Oisha. You're departing, you're walking back, facing the Eibishter, the Shechina, the Eved Haniftar Mirabe, like an Eved, like a slave, like a servant, which is departing from his master. The steps, they are mini, not big, not small, in the middle steps. That his big toe should be by his heel. 3 steps, not too big, not too small. You shouldn't make Oisha Shalom to the back wall of Shul, like some people are makbid to make big steps, and at the same time 3 steps, 3 and not more. But he said he goes back with his left side, his left foot first, and then with his right side, and then he does again the left foot. And while he is still bechriya, like we mentioned, that it's important that you do the Oisha Shalom bechriya. Okay, so you do the chriya, bend your head a bissel, and you do Oisha Shalom left, right, left. While he's still with the Oisha Shalom, he should yamin shchina. He should haifich pan of the smell. We mentioned it earlier with the heart, my left. So he says over here that he bends his head to the left. He does Oisha Shalom b'mreim of Yas Shalom l'Nevak Yisrael v'Yimru Amen. Why left and right? Because his left is the right of the Shechina. So while he's going back from the Shechina, and specifically why the left? Because you have to show that it's hard for him to go away from the Eibishter. It's hard to go away from the Shechina. When you take out the tefillin, you do it with your weaker, with the left hand, to show that it's hard for you to do something, to go away, to get away from a mitzvah. So while you're doing Oisha Shalom, you say left, right, left. Then you do Oisha Shalom b'yamin, Oisha Shalom b'mreima, v'hifim panav l'yamin Oishu smel hashchina. He says, who Yasa Shalom Aleinu, Achakach Mishtachah, Fon of Ema Rakal Yusra, well, Vimru Amin. Left, right, left, which is Keneged the Shechina, the right side of the Shechina, then the left side of the Shechina, and then the middle. Achakach, Zegif, and then he could pick up his head. Oimer, Yul, the Ratzain, Chulushi, Bane Beis HaMikdash, Bane Beis HaMikdash, build the Beis HaMikdash, and there are those meaning, the people that say 3 times Beis HaMikdash, Ibana. It's a mini. Ki hatfilahi b'markim avida. The whole idea of Shemona Esrei is in the marking of Karabanis in the Beis Hamikdash, Vilachin, and the Foranim Mispalin. Yudam to the Eibish Shalbe, Abinyan Beis Hamikdash. The Eibish there should build and give us back and rebuild the Beis Hamikdash. No chalasis as avida, mamish b'meira b'yameinu. We want to have the avida b'meira b'yameinu v'sein chalkeinu v'soirasecha. And that's why also in the beginning of the davening we mentioned the idea of Shibana Beis HaMikdash. Again, it's the idea of Avodah. We want to be Meher B'Yameinu. Come to Shaila. What's the connection of Torah to Beis HaMikdash? So the answer is very simply the shleimus of Torah is also dafka going to be when we have the Beis HaMikdash. Again, we want the Beis HaMikdash to be rebuilt so we could have the shleimus of Torah and mitzvahs. Why do we go back? We start with the left. A regular person, a strong person, a righty, goes back with his right side first. He does everything with his right. And therefore I give kindness from Melchilo. Lahara is Kidu Kavi the love the Fater, and if they are marking Baruch to show that it's hard for him to go away from the Eibishter, and therefore Iter. Somebody which is a lefty, Iter Regil, Iker, Tchila Regil, Smail Loishi, Yamin al Galadam, he goes back with his right, which is the Smail. He goes back with his right side, which is his weaker side, which by a righty would be his left. So a iter, his lefty, does with his right side. Noch you give more yag the teir. Makim shakalu hapsiyos yamid beraglaim. One is k'may betfilah. He does Oyser Shalom. He should stand where he made his Oyser Shalom, where he stopped the three psiyos, as if he would be in Milosh Manetzi with his feet together. If he shouldn't turn around to Maidiv. It's important that he stands in his place till the Shliach Tzibur finishes Tfilah B'Lachash. Tfilah B'Lachash, the Chazan finished Tfilah B'Lachash, which means if the Chazan already finished before him, so it's fine. So you have to be careful. There's different svaras over there. The first svara, the Alter Rebbe says to be in the place where you made Oyser Shalom till the Chazan finishes. Shulchan Aruch comes and he says, you should go back with the Chazan by Kedusha. When somebody's davening b'yechidus, there's no Chazan. You should stand as if it would take the time to go back to your place with the Chazan, as if you'd be davening in a minyan going back to Shir Kedusha. You should wait a shtickle in your place. You shouldn't go back right away. You make Oyser Shalom, you stop, then you go back to your place. If it's this tzar, it's pushy, and it's hard to stand over there, and it's you're not comfortable in the situation, whatever it may be. Or they be mamshich over there and they like singing, and I don't know, all these nice manhagim. You could go back already from when they start Chazaras Hashatz. And if there's a place that it's going to come to machlekes and shul, if he stands in his place, he says over here, it's enough that he stands in the place, which is not a lot of time, then he goes back. He doesn't have to, for example, stand over there till the Chazan starts Kedusha and make sure that nobody passes in front of him, because you're not allowed to walk in front of a person when he finishes Shmanesis. He's going to put his hands out and hold anyone back. Shulchan Aruch says if it's going to bring to machlekes or something which is not right between other people, he does the shir it takes to do dalaramis and go back to your place. Halacha yad, halacha yudal. With the filah Shmanesis, lo yirmas beinav lo yikris b'svasav lo yirabez boy. In davening in the middle of Shmanesis, he shouldn't show anything with his eyes, wink to anybody or anything like that, or with his mouth, as if he's eating something. You could eat a person alive with these motions he's making. And he shouldn't use his fingers also. In the middle of Shemona Esrei, we don't stop for Kaddish Kedusha Baruch Hu. We don't answer anything in Shemona Esrei. El Yishtoik, when he says to stop, means he doesn't answer. He stops, he's quiet. He should have in mind what the Chazan and the Tzibur is saying. So Kaddish, he waits till the first three Amens, Amen, Amen, and Amen Yeshmei Rabba. By his Baruch, Yishtabach, he can already continue. Kaddish Kedusha Baruch Hu, Kaddish Baruch and Nimloich, you should hear the minion saying Shema Yisrael, the first pasuk, Baruch Hu, the first Amen of Kel HaKadosh, or of Shema Kileinu, the three words of Ma'id Manach, different ideas, different things that you stop. You don't answer, you just listen to the tzibur, and it's as if you are saying it with the minion. It's not a hefsek if he stops, and it is considered as if he says it. Amazing. In the davening, the last paragraph of the Lekainet Tzoyed, between Shal Yad and Shal Reish, and Birchas Kriyas Shema, all have the same Geder LeHalacha. They all have the same Geder LeHalacha. Whatever you're allowed to answer in one of them, you're allowed to answer in these three places. We mentioned this later in Siman Tezayin. If it's possible for him to chaparain and say the word, the pasuk Yul Ratzon, he should say the pasuk of Yul Ratzon. After he says the pasuk Yul Ratzon, you should make Oisei Shalom. As a pasuk Yul Ratzon Gemer, and there are those that are noyik to say right after Sim Shalom, the bracha Mevarach Sam Yisrael Shalom Yul Ratzon, and not to do Oisei Shalom, they say the whole of the kind of tzayir, Pam Shniya Yul Ratzon, and then they say another Yul Ratzon, not just one Yul Ratzon and Oisei Shalom, Yul Ratzon and the kind of tzayir, and then again Yul Ratzon Gemer, and this is the right thing to do. Venirali to Inyan Zeh Mutaran Lahafsik B'tzilos of the kind of tzayir Lanes Kolamin. When you get to this Indian, it's better to read the kind of tzayir, and if you have to stop in the middle of the kind of tzayir and answer, or you're allowed to answer ben aprakim, you should do so instead of making Oisei Shalom right away after the first Yul Ratzon. And the Alter Rebbe writes, you're only allowed to answer whatever is mutter to answer in Birchas Kiddushma, not any amen or anything of the like. Whatever is mutter to answer in Birchas Kiddushma or between Yad and Shalosh of Rashi, you're allowed to answer also in the kind of tzayir. There are those that say the Kedim Sheiman as a pasuk Yul Ratzon. Before he says the pasuk Yul Ratzon, Toiv Leimar Apasuk Echad Min HaTorah Oyim Nevim Iksuvim Hamaschil Ba'is with Haschala Shmei Messiah Ba'is Kamei B'Sim Shmei Eliyahu Rabba Shem Kanfe Yoina. He brings down the Hoyer from the Eliyahu Rabba, which is B'Shem Kanfe Yoina, that before he does the second Yul Ratzon, he should say psukim that start and end with his name. All Chassidim have the meaning to say not just their name, also the name of the Rebbe. It starts and it ends with the name of the person. It starts and ends with the same oisios. It's brought down in Eliyahu Rabba in the name of Kanfe before Nirali the Omer should say Yul Ratzon, Shtei Pamim V'lo Yemer Elo Kodim Yul Ratzon Hasheni. He says before the second Yul Ratzon. It's brought down in the Sfarim that when a person comes up to Shemayim, when he comes to the Beis Din asks him his name. If he doesn't even know his name, they don't even deal with him. So therefore, it's important that these psukim are the thing that helps him and holds him to remember his name when he comes up to Shemayim. But this is the Indian of. We have to focus on the Toiv, the Asi Toiv, and the Rebbe says, the Sichis, we're in the matzav of Yemei HaMashiach. The Rebbe says, the Rebbe uses the words Bli Hefsek Bein Tayim. We won't have this idea of any Hefsek Bein Tayim. Should we say, take him Yadim Amish to go straight into the second Kufa with the Rebbe. So gesund sein, der Rebbe Melch Mashiach take from Yad Mamish. Ad kan halacha tezbov.